CBD, as we've mentioned before, it has a direct effect on serotonin. So when someone's under chronic stress, your body's constantly releasing adrenaline. That's that fight to flight hormone. When you have constant adrenaline being released, that's what crushes cortisol levels over time, okay? When you have crushed cortisol and high adrenaline, serotonin, your feel-good hormones, they don't exist anymore. They've been obliterated. And the receptors that it would normally bind to turn on those feel-good hormones are also pretty much destroyed. So what they found is people utilizing CBD, it binds to serotonin, so turning on that feel-good hormone, and it also appears that it kind of cleans off those receptors. It freshens them up to be more responsive to serotonin. So a lot of people who suffer from anxiety have depression with it. This is a great potential route of exploration for them to go down when it comes to CBD. That would be one of the things that I always like to emphasize to people, its effects on serotonin. That's why I believe we see when people use CBD and they're on anti-anxiety medications or medications for depression, they find that they need to take less of it. I think down the line, research is going to argue, much like it currently is with opioids, that it's not only helping the individual, but it's making those medications much more effective in the long run. When it comes to PTSD, anxiety, especially if someone is having really bad symptoms, you want to start very slow. So I usually start people around 10 milligrams a day, and I don't have anyone where we're above 200 milligrams a day. At that point, we're really approaching cautiously. I would say on average 10 to 100 milligrams a day is probably going to do the trick for people. But remember, it has a biphasic effect. So at the perfect dose, that sweet spot dose of maybe, let's say, 40 milligrams for an individual, they feel great. They might take 60 milligrams and feel more anxious. We've seen this happen. I tell those people, don't fret. If we started at a level that was too high for them, that's great, because you know what? We know it's going to impact you. We know it's having an effect on you. So we simply cut it back for the individual. But 10 milligrams to 100 milligrams, work your way up slowly. I think you mentioned this before. We tell people, especially at nighttime, some people find at too low of a dose, it might keep them up a little bit. Some people find at just the right dose, they sleep like they've never slept before. So really 10 to 100 milligrams, go slow, and I really caution that for people with serious PTSD, and you should be working with someone if this is you. You shouldn't just be taking anything on a whim or starting any program on a whim. If you have suicidal tendencies or thoughts, you have to work very cautiously, especially if you're at risk of self-harm, which, this blew my mind. I heard on the Today Show, and it actually made me sick, because this shows how lack of attention we're giving to this. I heard someone say the words, most kids these days are going to have suicidal thoughts, and that's actually fairly expected for a younger individual. How can that just roll off your tongue to say that that's actually fairly expected in today's world? We have that's terrible. So really, if you have those tendencies to harm yourself, if you are in danger of other things, if you're suffering with PTSD and the decision-making may not be completely rational, work with a professional as you do this.